The planet Uranus, the planet of revolutions and a radical new direction for the Vatican. Astrology behind the scenes in the Roman Catholic Church. As old as the Roman Catholic Church is, most people don't know that the modern church, centered in the city-state of the Vatican, is only 84 years old, and we have the astrology chart of its birth. Actually, there are at least 3 critical astrological charts involved with the birth of the modern church. You see, after the fall of the old Roman Empire, what eventually over centuries became modern Italy was ruled by a number of different forces and governments, most notably the Roman Catholic Church and its leadership. But when the powers that wished to unite Italy ran into military resistance in the mid-1800s from the supporters of the Catholic Church and the papacy, it led to a stalemate that lasted just over 58 years, or as we astrologers say, for 2 complete cycles of the weighty planet Saturn. The first critical astrological chart is for the event of the capture of Rome in the year 1870. Once that event occurred, and the astrological moment had been captured in space and time, the city of Rome was no longer under papal control. Used to getting their way throughout history, the leaders of the ancient church refused to acknowledge the new Italian state and resolutely held to this inflexible position until what astrologers call the second Saturn return of the event of the capture of the city of Rome by the unification movement. During its period of refusal to admit its own defeat and accept the change in the status quo and the reality that the new leaders of Italy were now in control of the Italian peninsula, Saturn is all about status, authority, hard, cold reality, and who is really in control. The Pope and the high leaders of the Church hunkered down behind the walls of the Vatican, waiting for the political tide to turn in their favor, an event that never occurred, and effectively became prisoners trapped, severely constricted in their movements, and physically confined inside the tiny Vatican compound for the next 58-plus years. Just over 58 years, by the way, is the time it takes the planet Saturn to make 2 complete revolutions around our Sun. Astrologers recognize that the completion of this nearly 6-decade-long double cycle of Saturnian responsibility and striving typically mark the end of the worldly climb up the ladder of power in the life of an individual or in an institution, as represented by the chart that marks its birth or its beginnings, and hopefully brings about a retirement of and release from that life's burdens, as it finally did for the leaders of the Catholic Church power structure and its unsuccessful political power holdout. As it happened from September 20th, 1870, when the city of Rome was captured by the forces of unification, until February 11th, 1929, the Catholic Church, refusing to recognize the new Kingdom of Italy, existed basically as prisoners of war until they finally cut a deal with the Italians and signed a document known as the Lateran Treaty in 1929, a deal that allowed the bishops of Rome to once again roam freely beyond their tiny bit of Vatican real estate that was once the seat of a military empire. Fascinatingly, the Church, always willing to utilize both astrology, at least behind the scenes, and the power of symbolism in the public face it shows to the world, the Roman Catholic Church chose February 11th, 2013, exactly 84 years to the very day that the leaders of the Catholic Church acquired their freedom with the Lateran Treaty, for Pope Benedict XVI to announce his radical and history-changing decision to retire from the papacy and allow a new pope to take his place, something that hasn't happened in more than 700 years. This was a radical decision that the 1 billion-plus Catholics worldwide never saw coming. Radical changes, dramatic new beginnings, total shifts of policy, and completely surprising turns of events, as some of you may know, are represented in astrology by the planet Uranus, a celestial body which takes, wait for it, 84 years to make 1 revolution around the Sun. Yes, that's right, 84 years from the signing of the Lateran Treaty and the founding of the modern city-state of the Vatican in 1929, the former Joseph Aloysius Ratzinger became the former Bishop of Rome, the first former living pope for more than 700 years. It has now been revealed that Ratzinger made his decision to abdicate his papal throne way back in 2012, the year of his personal birth chart's once in 84-year Uranus return of radical changes and new directions in one's life, but waited to make the official announcement until the 84-year Uranus return of the Church's liberation in the Lateran Treaty of 1929, being the astrological moment opening the door for a potentially new, radical, different direction for the Church itself and for the top leadership position. Now, hopefully the pontiff will fare better in retirement than the last pope to willingly abdicate his throne, that was Pope Celestine V, who, after resigning the role of pope in the year 1294, was hunted down by agents of his successor, the less than pleasant Pope Boniface VIII, captured, imprisoned against his will, and cruelly treated, where he died in prison less than a year later, possibly having been executed by order of his replacement pope, according to rumors circulating from that day. However, using astrology to his best advantage, the modern pope, who abdicated, Benedict XVI, has made his exit in a year when no less than 6 major, extremely beneficial and positive Jupiter transits in the sky are acting on his personal astrological birth chart, so I imagine he'll be okay, at least for a while. At least he won't be hunted down and killed by the man who succeeds him as pope in the Roman Catholic Church. In the coming weeks on Astrology Tonight TV, we'll take a look at the famous predictions of the end of the Catholic Church, some used to say the end of the world, and the suggestions that the next pope might be the last. I'm Thomas Lyons, and you're watching Astrology Tonight TV, astrologytonighttv.com. This is your host, Thomas Lyons, astrologer for Astrology Tonight TV. For more information about your own birth chart and what might be coming up for you in your future, you can go to our website, astrologytonighttv.com, and arrange for a personal, professional astrology reading for yourself or a loved one, or you can order your own personalized astrological chart and predictive transits that can be emailed directly to you anywhere on the earth. I'm Thomas Lyons, and you're watching Astrology Tonight TV, astrologytonighttv.com, right here on YouTube.